What is up, YouTube? So I'm going to do a update video, more like a review on my Honda Rubicon. It's got like 782 miles on it now. We'll just call it 800 mile review. I'll kind of go over some things I covered in other videos just in case you haven't seen the other videos, and we'll kind of go through that. So I have a 2023 Honda Rubicon 520 and a 2022 Honda Rancher 420. They were bought really close to one another. It just so happened that I got the 23 model and she got the 22 model. So they're pretty much the same. My other video covers the differences. I'm not really going to go through that. So pretty much since I've had both machines, I've had zero mechanical issues with it. They've been wonderful. We just came back from Hatfield and McCoy trails. We rode like 430 miles. No issues whatsoever. Mechanically speaking, they did great. They're a lot of fun. They're not as fast as Can-Ams or, the Polarises or anything like that. But, for most of those trails, you're not doing 60 or 70. So they're good for what we need them for and for what we're doing. So if you're in the market to look for a Rancher or a Rubicon, in my opinion, I'd spend a little bit more money and get the Rubicon. The one thing I absolutely love about the Rubicon is the high-low selector. You can have it in drive or you can put it in low range. On the Rancher, this is your four-wheel drive. The Rubicon's electronic. So I do really like the low range on it. Power-wise, to be honest, like I said, I think that the Rancher in my other videos, I think the Rancher is a little bit faster, but I do like the low range and I like the third headlight. The Rancher does not come with a third headlight. So we're going to get into some things that I have changed because of what I don't like about them. As you can see, I have different tires on both four-wheelers. Now, I just got these for the Rubicon. I was still running the factory Maxes, the 25, 10, 12s on the back, 25, 8, 12s on the front. When she first got her four-wheeler, immediately got a hole in it. She didn't want to deal with it anymore, so the factory tires are 4-ply. I covered it in another video, so she went with the regular mud lights, same factory size. The Ranchers, for whatever reason, have 11-inch rims on the back, 12-inch rims on the front, and they're 24s. So we upgraded her tires, and then obviously upgraded these. These are the same ITP brand as hers. These are just the ITP Mudlight XLs. So as you can tell, these are a little bit of a less aggressive tread pattern, and they got a decent amount of miles on them. And then these are obviously a much more aggressive tread pattern. So these are 26, 10 by 12s all the way around. No clearance issues. I could imagine you probably could put 27s on. It gave me close to 2 inches extra ground clearance due to the knobs. As they wear down, obviously your ground clearances will go down. So I hated the factory tires. They suck. They're only 4-ply. You ride any trails with shell, rock, it's only a matter of time. You can bring plug kits, but you get them in the sidewall, you're kind of screwed. So I hated that about the Honda. The Maxim tires suck. Obviously, storage on these four-wheelers are not great, so we both added storage bins on them. Works for us. In the future, we might add some more. Now, this is where mine starts differencing from hers. I'll quickly cover the similarities. We both have 1.9 gallon long haul fuel tanks. We get about, with them, if we need them, about 130 miles of range with the fuel that's at 3.9 gallons that's in the Honda and the 1.9 gallons that are in there. So the other thing I absolutely hated were the factory skid plates. This is from a company called Baltic, and They do full skid plates or A-arm guards or whatever you want. I got the full with the A-arm guards and the full underneath skid plate. I don't think I have it anymore. I threw them out, but the factory Honda skid plates are very flimsy, thin plastic. I caught a rock, and the factory skid plates didn't really do anything. It ended up bending one of the brackets where your rear sway bar is, so I upgraded the skid plates. So now I can hit whatever and not worry about hurting anything underneath. So to me, those were the two absolute things I disliked about the Rubicon or the Rancher. Yeah, I kind of wish they had more fuel capacity, and as I've said in previous videos, I wish the display was a little bit bigger. So that's kind of my few complaints, and these tires still do all right on the macadam. I haven't had that many miles on them, so I kind of maybe make a separate video on it, but all around I love both machines. This has kind of been through the ringer. It was upset twice, still runs great. Only thing that happened was a bent rim and a blown bulb on the headlight. So Hondas are still tanks. So I'll just cover a few other things and kind of like the few other future things I want to get. I added side mirrors. They look stupid, but it helps me be able to see her, and we ride a lot of roads at some places we go, so I can keep an eye on traffic. To me, ram mount, most important thing, because I use the OnX app or whatever, off-road app anyone uses. It's nice to have it right there. I can track where I'm going, see where I'm going. I added my winch controller, and I have a 3,500-pound Badland winch. I know I got a bunch of questions in my previous videos. I've had it now for 8 months. Had no issues with it. I've used it quite often. I pulled the Rancher out once, and I pulled a side-by-side that tipped over back on all four, and another side-by-side out of a sticky situation. So I've had no issues with it. I'm a fan of it. I added the Rubicon shock covers, really for no other reasons besides, to me, they looked really neat and they matched the four-wheeler. Long haul fuel tank, rear storage bin. My other video I kind of went over what all I have, tool wise, skid plates, and bigger tires. So that's I believe everything. Oh, and the grips, Odin, I don't know, they're on the Honda Boats website or Amazon. They're great. I love them. I hate the factory Honda grips, so we added those. So real quick, my few other future things I want to do. I'm going to go with the definite thing I'm doing probably in the next 2 months. Factory lights, and I'm going to do the same thing on the Rancher because the lights are even worse on that. Honda Boats is a great website. They have factory LED lights, plug and play, bolt right in. It's cool because they have a metal backing to them that you can get. You want red, black, whatever you want. So they're full LEDs. I'm going to get them, and then they sell an LED bulb for this. That way, A, I can see better when we night ride, which isn't too often, and B, depending on what trail you're riding on and the turns and how much traffic's on it, if you have a brighter light, it lets other riders know further out that you're coming. It's just a extra safety thing. So that is definite. I'm going to get a set for the Rancher and a set for this, because the factory lighting on the Rubicon ain't that bad, but the factory lighting on the Rancher sucks. Especially if you get a lot of mud on stuff on the front of the quad. So that's definite. The other thing I might or might not do is they sell High Lift. Pretty sure that's a company. It's like a 2-inch lift. I've watched other videos on it. They're really simple to install. You get like 1.5 inches extra ground clearance. With these tires, I got a decent amount of clearance, but I don't know. Sometimes I just like a little bit more. We ride in the snow, and we ride in some mud and some rocky areas, so I don't know, a little bit more ground clearance would be wonderful. So I might do that. And I've always tossed the idea up of doing an HMF exhaust and a tuner, but really for what you pay for the exhaust and the power you get, I don't know if it's worth it. With the bigger tires on, I have not really felt the difference. I don't know, top speed wise, because I haven't topped it out since I got them. I get like speedometer 49 on the quad. My GPS is like 51. So I don't know with the bigger tires if I'll get a higher top speed. So I've tossed around the idea of getting the HMF exhaust and the tuner. I don't know for which tuner. DynoJet makes a tuner for these, and there's another programmer. The DynoJet tuner is something that you can actually flash your own tunes, download tunes, everything like that. I want to talk to the company because in the future I think we'd plan on keeping the Rubicon for a long time. Eventually get rid of the Rancher and get a Talon. I want to see if the DynoJet I could use for the Talon as well in the future. So yeah, so I've kind of tossed the idea around about doing that. The other last idea that I don't know if it'll happen, if we keep this long term and decide to do the four-wheelers for 10 years or so, Elka makes really good shocks for these. I would consider getting a stage 2 or 3, probably stage 2. They're more adjustable and make your ride much more comfortable and much more stable ATV. So that's always been a thought as well. So that's kind of the future plans for it. I don't really see much else to do for it. I don't really do hardcore mudding, so I don't need a snorkel kit or a rad relocate kit or gear reduction. I mean, we do hit mud, but I'm not trying to like go up to handlebars in it. So that's kind of a review. What's to come with it? What I like. They're great machines. I will always stand by Honda. Unfortunately, everything's going up in price. I did see Can-Am came out with a 500, 700 that's pretty affordable too. Probably around the same as what you pay for a Rubicon. No, they don't. They definitely have more horsepower than the Rubicon. I think these have like 32 horsepower. So, but with Honda, you get the reliability. It's kind of what they hang their hat on. Like I said, I had zero problems with this since I've had it. They're great machines. I love the electric power steering. This has it. The Rancher does not. The DCT, the dual clutch transmission, I've had zero problems with it. Every once in a while, it'll search. Someone had left in the comments that it's because the gears don't mesh up right like all the time. But no problems with the DCT. No problems with the electronic four-wheel drive. No problems with the diff lock. I've had no problems with the electric power steering, the EFI, anything with the motor. So I got the valves adjusted when they were supposed to get adjusted. So all in all, these are great machines. Like I said, we put 800 miles on them. That's been rolled twice. Still fine. Plastics are a little dinged up and the one rim got bent, but other than that, it runs great. I can't really think of any other complaints I really have besides the few I said. I will tell you, if you end up getting either a Rancher, Rubicon, and they have those Maxxis 4-ply tires on it, save yourself a hassle unless you're riding around some nice grass or fields. Get different tires. The 4-ply tires do not hold up, and you're going to go out riding and you're going to get a hole in your tire or your sidewall and your day's going to be ruined. Now, I ended up getting an extra set of rims and tires, Maxxis tires and factory rims, for a really good deal. So when I had all these tire problems on our vacation, I had a spare set that I could swap on. But it's just a pain in the butt. And you gotta, deal with that, pull the tire off, put the new tire on, pull the tire off, plug it, all that stuff. Or you can just have peace of mind and get 6 or 8-ply tires with better tread and not have to worry about it at all. So, those are my thoughts on it. I know a lot of other people in the comments have complained about the factory tires. One other complaint I'll say is the plastic scratch really easy on these. The other thing I will say is the Rubicon seat's much more comfortable than the Rancher seat. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I have no other complaints. Like I said, 800-mile review, knock on wood, nothing's failed. We've done all the surfaces on it that has been required, and yeah, they've been pretty good machines. Like I said, we just came back from West Virginia, put 430 miles on it, on them both, no issues. So I'll probably make a 1,500-mile review, and if I do the lights and a few other things to them, I'll kind of do a review on that. So if you're in the market for a Honda Rancher or Rubicon, honestly, you really can't go wrong with either. If you were to get a Rancher, the next model up comes with independent rear suspension, with hers has, but also EPS. I get the electric power steering. Makes a world of difference. You don't feel the jolts in the handlebars. It absorbs a lot more of the impact. If you ride on macadam, steers better. If you're at a stop, it's just wonderful. And I rode many years without electric power steering, and I thought I didn't need it, but now that I have it, I wouldn't go back. So those are my thoughts. Like I said, great machines. You really can't go wrong with either one, the Rancher or the Rubicon. It's not like you get on the 520 and it's going to blow your doors off the 420 Rancher. Honestly, the 420 Rancher would probably beat the 520 Rubicon in a race. Hills, though, with the low range, this will smoke the Rancher any day of the week. Crawling rocks, this is more suited for that. But you can't go wrong with either. So, yeah, if anyone has any questions, leave them in the comments. I think the grips are Odin. I always forget. Someone left them in the comments what they are, but they're wonderful grips. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll check back with another update on these. Till next time.